Hey guys, my name is xOctoManx and today I want to answer another request which is about PlayerPrefs and saving data. What I want to say is the very first and most important one is PlayerPrefs are not secure. That means PlayerPrefs are written in the registry file. I'm going to show you that one later on. And since they are not encrypted, every player or every user is easily able to manipulate that registry data and can can manipulate however they want and make themselves a lot of money or whatever you store in the PlayerPrefs. The most important one is don't store any data which is which needs to be secured or not get manipulated by other players. So make sure you don't use that for important data. If you want to store, I don't know, some objects or actually some positions of objects, this might be something what you want that go over, but basically I wouldn't store much in the PlayerPrefs. It's just really a basic saving system which we can use to store data. Also, it has a lot of limits inside, or actually not that much limits, but to make it really work or make it good work, you need to do a lot of stuff. I want to show you the very basic setup for PlayerPref saving and loading out of them, deleting them, and make sure you can use them. So let's get started. At first, I want to show you what I've done. Maybe you remember that one from another tutorial, but nothing special happened in here. I made a new empty game object called Game Manager. I'm going to colorize this one if I need this one later on. So, nothing is happening. Give me a sec to fix that. Okay, there we go. So in this game manager, I'm going to basically use a money script, and I'm going to show you this one for a second. This one is my create script. We'll go over in that in just a second too. Okay, in my money script, I just go over and store coins. Or actually I have a coins integer value over here, and once the add coins function is called and send any money into that by collecting stuff or whatever, then it adds to coins, which is currently at 0. So nothing special about that script. It's just it just holds all the data. Later on it will get the data back to but when you load your scene, you will get your coins back and whichever stored in there. So you need to make sure that this coins actually is a public value, and also that function is a public, since you don't otherwise you couldn't go to that and send the data or the coins, the money you collect inside of that. Okay, in the create money script, I have an integer called get money. I can also call it whatever you like, and I have a small how shall I say, a connection to the money script, which I was showing you here. And this connection is important, otherwise I couldn't go over there and send the data inside of that, except it's static, or actually it's a something like a singleton or stuff, so you can access this directly, but I'll go over and do it like that. So I use the money script and name it ms, and ms is going to be GameObject.find Game Manager, which is my Game Manager object where I have my money script inside, and I want to get the component of that, the component money script out of that Game Manager object, and store that into ms, and in ms add coins, which is that function. I want to send get money, and get money is what I can go over in the inspector, and I have have my small coins which are spawning on different spots over there. I'm not directly collecting them, but once they get spawned, I get coins. So in my prefabs, I get over and create money scripts going to send into that, or I use that in there. And once this game object, whichever it is, and no matter how much they are, money script is create money script is get in the awake. It's going to send the coins I'm sending, or I add inside of that to my game manager object, which is counting up the money. So that red coin will give me 5 money every time it pops up or it gets spawned, and the yellow coin it gives me only 1 coin each time it is going to get spawned. So let's check out if this is going to work. And there we go. The yellow coins, I have 3 right now, and over here 5 coins by that red one, and all of them are counting into that coin, coin's global or public variable, and adds to that. And yeah, that's what I wanted to go over. So all of them are stored for now in the money script, but they don't save it alone. So, because if I stop the game, all coins are 0. And what I want to make sure is I want to save the amount of money when I leave the game or exit the game. I want to store the data, or when I press a button. And the button variable might be the most important one, because you want to make sure whenever you want to store that data, or you can just access this over an enable on disable function, or maybe on application exit, I would say, or application quit. I'm not sure about that one yet. I will show you that in soon, I think. So let's get over to that and store some data, load some data, and actually create new PlayerPrefs and stuff. But for now, I want to go over and just easily add some buttons for that. I use the Unity 5, so I can use the canvas system for that, and into that canvas system I want to make sure that my camera is selected over here. The plane distance doesn't really matter, but was it right? Yeah, it should be. And now I select my main camera over here. So now it's the canvas is going to be on my camera. And with a plane distance of 10, it doesn't really matter how much the distance is. It just depends if you have stuff in front or in the back side of that, then you can just play around with that thing. But it's not what we want. I want at first some buttons, and again going to GUI.button, and this button is going to have 2 different things here: a text, which will be just save, or can save data, or call it whatever you like. And you can also go in 2D mode over there and fix the size, and just place it wherever you like. Oh. Was it wrong? Let's see. I don't know. Okay, that seems to be... okay, that was wrong. I had not the button, I had the text. So okay, this is better. So again, to the text, I'm going to call this one save. You can place this button wherever you like. You can also play put a panel under that one. Maybe this one would be better. So you can place the wall save and stuff crap wherever you like. So let me resize the panel. Maybe to something like that. Also, the panel needs to be over the button. The button itself maybe like there. And now I go and connect them. So if I move the panel, I can move the button. Okay, so now I duplicate that button 2 times, because let me just rename them. Save button, and this one I drag over to there, or maybe a bit under that. It doesn't really matter. And the second one maybe like that. So now I have 3 buttons which are having the text save. So here I will go over and load stuff, and then the next button I want to go and delete stuff. So I can use all that data and save them by pressing those corresponding buttons with some events I will go add later. And yeah, let's go over and write some code for that loading and saving stuff. Okay, I have another script folder in here which has a save and load or save load script. Nothing is inside of that, but I will write inside right now. So at first I want the connection to my game manager once again. Again, you can use static stuff and so on, but for now it just really is more than enough. So this is going to be a private, and I need the money script for that. You can use all your game manager stuff inside of that. You can combine them in one script or whatever however you want to manage things. So my money script holds my money, so I need a connection to my money script. And I'm calling this one once again ms. It doesn't really matter how I call this one. And in start or in awake, it doesn't really matter. Awake is just faster, or actually called before start is happening. So let's just use awake in that. And in here I want to make sure that I get the connection to my money script again. So GameObject.find, and inside of that brackets money, no, it's game manager. Don't forget to check spelling. And inside I want to get the component which is called money script, and use those brackets over there. And now I have the connection to that. So every time whatever I want to store at, what kind of data I want to store from that money script, I can easily access from here. Okay, the next one is I want to make a public. This function needs to be public because you maybe want to, basically I want to press a button and access that save function from here, or otherwise you might want to call this one from any point of your game, and you want to access that script or that function from that. So this needs to be a public variable. Next one is we need to void, and we need to call this one save, or can use that save data. It doesn't really matter, you call it whatever you like. And in here we will all store all our data, which currently is just an integer, but maybe later on I will add some other stuff too. And I'm going to show you the different data types you can store in that. And in here we're gonna go over and load all the data we have stored in front. And also I need another private variable, which is going to be a boolean variable. I'm not sure if I can save boolean. I'm not sure. At first let me just use a bool. If it's not be able, I'm going to check this one in a second. If I cannot store bool variables, then I'm going to use an integer, which I just set to 1 or 0, because integers are able to get stored in the PlayerPrefs. Okay, so this is another limitation by the way, you just have. You cannot store all the data inside you maybe want, like decimals and stuff. You need to convert them to a string and parse them later on, but it doesn't really matter right now. Okay, so I have a private bool, and it's I call this one has saved, and I'm going to set this one to 0 or to false. Actually, if I want, or if I use an integer later on instead of a bool, then I'm going to use 1 and 0 for that. So I only want load data later on if the has saved actually exists. And so I need to store this one later on too. Basically I just need anything to save inside, and yeah, you need to ask later on if that is has or is actually inside of my registry file. Okay, and I need another one, another public variable, public function here, which is going to be delete data. So I will delete all that keys when I press a button, the corresponding delete data, and do all. This is going to be the shortest one of all, depending on what you want to store inside and so on. So this 3 blocks are going to be very big, depending on how much stuff you want to save inside. So I want to save data in here, and this is going to be like so you place a key inside of the again in the registry file, and then you can store that stuff inside. Okay, so if I want to store data, I go over and use the PlayerPrefs over there, and now I have different possibilities over here. I can send, as you can see, I can get information, which is get float, get int, get string, and also I can use set float, set int, and set string. So those 3 data types are basically the ones you can use inside of the PlayerPrefs. If you have anything else, like a boolean, like that, you need to actually convert them to a string or to an integer, however it is possible. And next thing is you can ask later on. This is what we are going to do with that has saved thingy. If if actually a PlayerPref has a key, which is the key you are actually giving them, then you can do stuff, otherwise you don't do anything. Also, as you can see, you can set delete different set keys, can delete all keys, and so on and so forth. And you can, for some small you can actually create a small safety possibility over here. So you have something stored somewhere else maybe, and you test everything out, and if that is not like that, then you can say, oh, there was a hacker stuff. But basically this is not really a safe stuff here, a safe safe data saving option. Okay, since PlayerPrefs has no boolean, I'm going to set this one to be an integer. I'm going to set this one to 0, so it's going to be as false. And this is the first one I want to store in here. So if PlayerPrefs, or actually PlayerPrefs, and I'm going to set a string or an integer in my case. And in here you can see you have 2 possibilities, or 2 variables you have to fill in. A string value, which you can call however you like. I'm going to call this one has saved. Later on you need all that hashtags or that key values, it's not a hashtag, it's a string value, to store the data back inside into that. And also it wants the value to be stored inside. So this is going to be another integer, or basically it is the integer has saved for this. And basically that's it for saving data. Another data I want to save is inside of my game manager script. Inside the coins value is this. So I need to set this one once again. PlayerPrefs dot, and this is also an integer. So set integer, and I'm going to call this one my coins. Later on I will show you, as I said, I will show you this one inside of the registry file, how it looks. Okay, so I can now, when I call that function, that save data function, I set an integer which has a string name has saved, and I'm going to store whichever data I want to. basically I don't need to change this value. I just need to save that value, so it doesn't really matter if it's 0, 1 or 1000. And with that I'll go over later on and just read if that data exists. So I don't need to do it for every integer or for every value I'm going to store inside the PlayerPrefs. So I can do that with anything. Okay, let's go forward, and in here I want to load all that data. So I want to again PlayerPrefs and now I want to get the information, so get the integer, which is a string key in here for has changed is not or has saved is not what I want to read out. I just want to read the coins, and since I can't just do it like that, I need to send this a bit different. So I basically I go and get that information, but I want to make sure that the right data gets the information for that back. So I want to make sure that the data is sent to ms, which is my game manager object, and is written to coins. So this value ms.coins will be set to the saved integer value, my coins, with that coins I was reading at that time I have saving or loading that data. Okay, and over here again I can do this, can name stuff and so on and so forth. So I can delete just one key or delete all keys, so I get rid of all my save stuff. And this is as easy as you have seen as before. Delete all. I'm not sure if I need those brackets, but I think so. I'm going to check this in just a second. Yes, it needs to be without brackets, otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay, and I only want to load data if actually data exists, and that is where my has saved stuff come in handy. So I want to make sure that if PlayerPrefs, and now we have has key, so if there exists a key which is called has saved, whoops. So if that key exists, then and only then load data, otherwise it just wouldn't. So now you can basically do all your stuff inside here and store that information once you call that function. And same with the loading stuff. If that has saved key is existing, then you can load stuff, otherwise you can't. So make sure you do it right, and also recheck all that all your naming convention and stuff. So I'm going to save this one, and now it's time to test the stuff out. Again, I have saved, so I go to my buttons. I'm going to save my scene once again, and on my save button, which is here, I have that on-click events, and inside of that on-click events I want to happen, or want stuff to happen. So what I want is I want to at first go to my game manager and put my save load script on that. I can also do it from anywhere in the scene. I just want to make sure that this is going to be here. So if you have that on your same manager where your money is, then you can just get rid of that. Basically not get rid of that line. This is when you want to call it from anywhere inside of the scene, but not from the game manager. So if it's on the same game object, I can just save that kind of text over there and can just go over and take this. So I won't just go over and get the component money script from the same game object. So it's shortener, and I don't need to the long way to find the game object game manager itself, because it sits directly on that. So with this done, I can just take a button like the save button, and I have that on-click event over there, and I want to go over in my scene and choose my game manager where the save and load script sits on. And I have no function for that, but I have the save load script over here, and inside I have the functions save data, load data, and delete data. I want a connection to save data, and that's it. Now I go over, so when I press or click on that thing, the script, save load script, will call the function save data and will do whatever it is inside. So next one, this is going to be the load button. I'm going to rename this one pretty quick, and I add an on-click event for this. Again, I want a connection to the game manager, go over to the save load script, and I want to load the data. And that's it once again. And in here I want a button which is called delete button. Naming conventions always helpful, basically, or especially if you have monster big game projects. Again, I'm going to choose the game manager, call the function in the save load script which is called delete data. You can only access those data or that functions if they are public, otherwise it wouldn't work. So you wouldn't be able to select them inside of that. Even if you can see the script inside of the game manager, you cannot access the functions. Also, to use that on-click stuff, the game object which you are looking for needs to be somewhere in the scene, in the game scene. No matter where you store them or where you place them, just make sure they are in, even if they are in the camera. So choose the camera instead of the game manager object. Okay, so now it's time to test that stuff. First, again, let me go back just a second and save everything I have done, just to make sure nothing is going to crash later on. So for now, I want to go over and click the load. Oh, wrong window. I want to load stuff. You can see my coins every 3 seconds are increasing. I want to load data, but I have no data, so I can also use a console to do something for that. So now I go over and store when I have 43 coins. And now all that data should be saved, and I should be able to load that data. I can also once again save over that data, and let me check. Now now I stop the game, and basically all my data should be saved right now. So when I start the game and I press load, then as you can see, it gives me 69 of my coins. Once I load, I go over and have my coins back to wherever it has been. So all that PlayerPrefs are stored in the registry, so I'm going to show you how that looks, or where they actually are. So open up your registry editor, and you can go over and search the whole thing, or if you know where they are, then just go over. I use a search function. It's German for me, so don't worry about the language. So use a search, and what I want to go over is I want to look for my has saved registry file, and it's somewhere in the Unity folder should be. You can also read where that stuff is online in the documentation of PlayerPrefs. I let this one read the whole registry. Maybe it takes a while depending on how long this stuff is going to take. I will go over and look on my other window where Unity is going to store them. Oh, it has the values. There we go. So here we have the name has saved, which is a string value, and my coins, which is my other string value. If you use something different, other names, something like QX, R2B, blah blah blah, then the player might not know what that one is, except he just know what that value does. And as you can see here, my coins has a value saved of 69. So every time you save stuff, all of that stuff is all that coins are going to get loaded in here. So now I know it's in default company. I can do everything inside of that, and you can see all your other stuff you have in the default company name, but it doesn't really matter for this. So the next one is, this is a new Unity project folder, which is my the project, it's called like that. And in that new Unity project, you will find all that PlayerPrefs data later on and can easily change them. So if a player is going inside of that key and choose decimal for that, then he can go over and use another D word or a decimal and place it inside. And now if I start the game right now and load the data, as you can see, I have 2000 coins. So this is why PlayerPrefs are not safe. So don't store data inside of that if you are if they are too heavy, like that coin value over there. I will show you in another video how to save or store data securely, or basically save almost basically 100% or more than that, safer than this thing. Okay, so the next one is I want to make sure that I can delete keys, and I press this delete key. I'm going to load, but I cannot load this because that key is deleted. And checking back, checking back that folder, which should hold all the PlayerPrefs data, but as you can see, there is nothing inside. There are no keys inside that registry folder, so all my data got deleted. So you can do that on any state of your game. You can say, okay, when I exit the game, then use the save data function. This is going to be interesting for mobile or for web. If the player just closes the browser and stuff, the application actually gets an exit, and if that is going to happen, then the player can don't need to hit the save button before of that, so he can make sure that all the data is saved. Also, if you want to use an interval, you can use invoke repeating or whatever you like to call that saved data from any point of the game or at any time of the game, like every 1 minute save the data, or every 30 seconds go over there and save the data. I want to show you one other thing in here, which is if I have my value inside of here not going to be an integer but a what will I go over? I think I will take a decimal for that. Give me a second, I need to do. Okay, there we go. Let's say my money is not an integer but in decimal. As you know, you cannot store decimal data directly inside of the PlayerPrefs. Decimal also needs to contain that big M after the value, and also this is going to be a decimal value, decimal money, and also in the create money script I'm going to use decimal decimal get money, and save all that script. So what has changed right now is it's going to stay an integer. I cannot store that integer because there is no integer. And also in PlayerPrefs, as you have seen there, you can also you can only store integer, float, and string values, but no decimals, and also no other values. So what can you do with that decimal stuff is you can convert this value, whichever value it is, and convert it to a string value and save that string value, and later on parse in the decimal value back inside of your game. So I want to create a string value or a string variable when I save the data. So a string, and I call that I call that my coins. This is going to be that string value over here, I think. I'm not 100% sure. No, it's going to be this one, maybe. I will check this one in a second. Okay, I want at first go and get all that information. So it is ms.coins, and now I want to convert this to a string and store that in my coins. So in here I need to store my coins, which I just got here. I want to store them in that value, and this is not to be an integer, this is going to be a string value. So you convert that decimal, convert that to a string, store that in that string value over there, and that is going to work pretty much fine. And in here, when I get that coins back, I'm going to comment this one out. So if there's a has saved stuff, I want to get the information back and also convert it back to a string, to a decimal from that string value. So again, it starts with ms.coins. I want to store the data inside of that coins of my ms, or my money script. And now I want to make sure that I can use decimal.parse, and inside I can parse a string value back, and in here I want to parse the PlayerPrefs I was saving before. So easily PlayerPrefs dot, and then I want to get the string value of my coins, in quotes, of my coins. So again, let's check this one out. The only downside is I might not be able to read the decimal inside of the game manager, inside of the inspector, because decimals, as you can see, decimals are not shown correctly. So I go over and just pretty fast use another UI text object over there. I'm going to be, it doesn't really matter how it's called. No, it's not money, it's, I call this one coins, or coin text. I think I can just use all that data and send this back inside of that small window. That's a big problem over here. You would need to convert all that stuff back inside to make sure that you can actually read from that data. Okay, so all of that is inside. This is going to be just any value, which is going to get my coins and send them inside of the text. And in my money script, I need to read all that data. So I need the connection for the UI system, which is going to be using Unity Engine .ui, In that UI you can use the text value stuff. So it's going to be a public. Maybe it's easier to just convert it back inside of that. But I don't think it is really important. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So I want a text, which is my money text or my coin text. Coin text. And in this coin text I want to write the stuff. Okay, adding decimal coins or decimal values was a bit tricky, so I had to check out stuff a bit. Okay, so let's get started with all that text stuff. I want a public text called, I'm not sure if I just had this one, called my text or coin text. And to that I want to write the variable once the coins are going to get information. So coin text dot text, which is important, and then I want to write the decimal, which is coins, and convert it inside of that to a string, otherwise this wouldn't be readable. I'm going to change this one back. So, and since I can't add decimal data directly, because I would those integer values are not possible to take, I need to change something and convert the integer value into a decimal to be able to send them into the money script. So in here inside my create money script, I need to convert that integer value, otherwise I couldn't just change it inside of the inspector, because as you have seen, decimals are not shown in the inspector. I need to go over and convert that integer value into a decimal value and then send that saved value inside the add coins function. So a decimal, which is called decimal, which is called my coins, or call it whatever you like, again, my coins or converted coins, whatever, equals, and then in brackets int, and in here I go and get money. So this is converting integer values into decimal values and saves that inside of my coins. And in here I cannot take the get money integer. I just go over and use my coins for this. So now my coins are going to add as a decimal into my money script. As you can see, I need to send a decimal inside, otherwise it wouldn't work. Okay, so let's save this one. This is saved already. And now let's prepare the scene for a second. So in my text window, or in my text field, which is the coin text, I have nothing inside, and that's okay for this. And in my game manager script, I have that coin text string value over here normally, or I just added this one. Normally it looks like that. There's no coin text stuff inside, so go over and just take your coin text and drag it inside of that, so it's in there and can show the data. So let's go over and check this one out, and there we go. It writes all the decimal data, even if you cannot see them in the game manager because it just is the decimal data. You can see all your coins in that. And what you want to do right now is you want to check again if you can save the data and load the data. Okay, it's 38 once I was saving, and now I want to load this once again. Load again. Oh. Delete all. Cannot load anything. Save at 57. Wait a second or 3 and then load back. And there you go. This is so this is how you can change, or how you can store data when you convert them into anything, or basically it's the decimal you can save like that. So you need to convert it into a string, as I have done here, and change this, or actually load this data like I have done in here. So decimal.parse, so parse the decimal data inside, or yeah, inside that coins value, outside of that string value. Okay, this is basically how you use PlayerPrefs in in a common way. So nothing special about that, pretty easy to understand hopefully, and I hope you enjoyed that video and all that stuff we have written in here. I hope it's helpful in any way. Yeah, just remember, all the safe data like this is not safe, so you would need to write an encryptor or stuff, or yeah, just use apps or add-ons or whatever, some stuff like that anti-cheat tool or whatever it's called in the Unity asset store can do all this stuff for you, like encryption and decryption and stuff and so on. But if you want to wait a bit longer, then I can show you in a later video how to store data safely. But this one, as you have seen, is not safe. So again, put all your PlayerPrefs or all your data inside of all that safe data stuff and load data stuff, and then you're good to go, and delete stuff however you like and whatever you like save games and stuff. You can select different save states or whatever, can save them all into a list or wherever you like and however you like, and put all of that stuff into the PlayerPrefs. So, but that's it. The downside of PlayerPrefs again are at Android and iOS or mobile, it is really slow. It only saves, I don't know, 6 PlayerPrefs in a second or stuff like that, and if you have over 100, it's going to take a while until everything is saved. So don't forget that. On the computer it's not that slow, but mobile is not that fast, and also all that PlayerPref stuff is again not safe. So find another way, or actually we'll wait a bit and maybe I do another video for saving stuff, or saving data, or secure saving data. Okay, so with that 3 scripts we are done with that, and we can store all our data at runtime and at any point we want, even if in awake. If we are going to place that into the awake, we can just get out the component out of whichever script you want, and whatever game object you want, call the save data function or load the save data function if you I don't know, hit a trigger or whatever, and then you're good to go. Okay, that's it for that part. I hope you enjoyed again, and hope you like this one. If this is like like my video, with a thumb up, and if you have any questions about that one, just give me a comment or write me a comment or a message or whatever you like. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos in the future. So with that done, see you in the next part. Bye bye.